Okay, welcome to Unscripted and Unchained. This is another session I'm going to be running for MYFAROG, the role-playing game, and this adventure is No Wings for the Fallen. This is episode 1. It might be the only episode, I'm not quite sure. We'll see how it runs through. And I'm joined by a returning player who is going to run his character Njall, but I'll have him introduce once I switch over, introduce himself and his character. And I'm going to do a little bit of camera switching here, so it might run off, a little bit wonky in the beginning. So once again, welcome, and I hope you enjoy this game session. Once again, No Wings for the Fallen. It's my own adventure that I've written, and we will give it a shot. One more switch, sorry. And let's see, I need to turn off the webcam here. Okay, and camera should be picking up on this side very soon. Okay, so we are broadcasting, and this is all right, we're broadcasting. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, and I hear you clear too. There's a little spotty the projection, so we'll see. My internet's fluttering just a tiny bit, but we should be running fine. All right. If you would, you can introduce yourself, your character, and then we will get started.
My name's Matt. My character's name is Njall Rorikson of the Sequani tribe, based out of the region of Britannia. He's a native Thule male, warrior class, and he is a level 4.
Level 4 character. Okay. All right. So Njall is actually pretty far home from home. He is up near the village of Grove Cove. All right, and at the world map, Grove Cove is actually way up. Let me just in the Skanpan region. So the Skanpan Islands are way up north. So he's probably about a week's journey by ship in fair conditions. So he's quite the traveler. So Njall is, if you're familiar at all with, or not familiar at all with the Thulean society, Thule is kind of a very insular, tribal type society across a majority of its, its various island realms. And although as time has been progressing in the campaign that I've been running, that trend of greater movement, especially amongst skilled adventure type, individuals, adventurous type individuals, is spreading throughout the Thule, system of islands, the archipelago. So that being said, that's a little background for the campaign. So player, so this is what. So you've traveled up there, and in the town of Grove Cove, you do have several companions that you've picked up along the way. So you've been kind of active in this village for about a week, and it is another port town, so it's quite accustomed to having people from the outside coming in, and being that your noble birth, and you're wearing the clothes of your station or the colors of your station, you do have greater mobility than, let's say, a commoner would have or a non-Thulean noble would have. So you and your companions.
I'm sorry, I'm a freeman, not a noble.
Oh, all right. So even a freeman still has, the ability to travel more so than, if you were a thrall or, obviously an outlaw or a commoner. So you and your companions are at a stable yard of the village of Grove Cove. Your group of friends have grown, so most of them had traveled from where you were. All right, so you had all grown up together back in your home village, and you've been in this region for, like I said, for the last week, possibly longer than a week. The stable yard is a local hangout for young men, not quite the age of service to either of the Thanes, the Thane of the Watch or the Thane of the Hunt. But this is yours to receive that expected call of service. So why don't you first get into this, into this community and everything, searching for work, searching for things to do. They kind of treated you like you were any youth of the local region, so you kind of have to wait your turn, and there are two commanders in this town that most jobs for adventuring types come from. There's the commander of the watch, and then there's the commander of the huntsmen that go out into the wilderness regions to search around for whether to do hunting expeditions or to gather materials, to bring back in areas where there might be some difficulty. There are some outlaw groups in the region, although they tend not to come too close to settled areas. They usually try to operate in between settled areas, and so you're fairly confident that due to your expertise and you being well traveled, that it wouldn't take very long for you to be offered something to do in light of the number of expeditions they do put out for hunting parties and such. So all young men and on occasion extraordinary females are called upon to do their first service in their late teens. For each, it may be at a different age, but always based on family request or a referral of another member of the watch or the hunt. So you've been more concerned with or more attempting to get something with the warden of the hunt or the thane in charge of hunting expeditions. All right. You are obviously the leader of your particular group, and you are contacted by Thane Valtunas. All right, you're informed to put your group together and to meet him at the hall, the Grand Hall, where the Earl or the local leader actually, operates out of. That's his meeting hall. All right, and your group has been tasked to head towards. Well, actually, I'll let you do that first. So you get a message that's telling you to put your group together and to report to the longhouse. Did you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So are you going to do anything in preparation? Are you going to? I mean, you basically got the summons.
How's our group looking as far as supplies? Food rations, things of that nature.
Oh,
Are we pretty stocked already?
I mean, you've been living, in and around the stable area, and so it's a group of yourself and five other guys. One of your friends who is also experienced, not quite as much as you, but he is also experienced, and then the other four are quite inexperienced. They're younger, and and one of them's a local. So there's a total of four that came from your village, and then one that you've kind of brought into your group that was a local.
You said they're the two that out of the two that are inexperienced, one of them's a local.
Out of there's a total of four that are inexperienced. One's a local.
Okay.
Three is from your hometown. And then you're kind of like a second in command kind of guy who's somewhat experienced. He's also from your hometown. So you really just have one hanger on from the local village here. He's kind of your liaison or contact with the town and with the town leadership. So
I think.
Go ahead.
I think what I'll do is I'll myself and the more experienced members of my group that come from my hometown will go ahead and speak with the Jarl along with our liaison, and then the remaining less experienced members will be tasked with going and preparing supplies.
Okay.
Make sure that we're well provisioned. So I've sent them off, and now myself, my second in command, and our liaison are now making our way to the Orals Hall.
Okay, good. All right, and I'm just double checking. I was just checking the recording. All right, so you go to the main hall, and you start looking around for this guy Valtunis, and Valtunis is well, actually you could do a check. You could do a world war check. See how much you actually know about this guy.
What's my target?
World lore is going to use intelligence -5 if you have the skill.
Yeah, I don't have the world lore skill, so let's see. I got a 6, so 1 with the -5. So
you're not gonna, even with your +1 for intelligence, I believe.
So basically 2.
Yeah, you really don't know very much about him other than just his title. But you do know him by by reputation. You'll know him when you get in there, who he is, and so you approach him, and he opens and starts talking to you. So he tells you that he needs you and your small group to head towards Lamont and consulted a druid by the name of Aramak. He is he's been told that there's some kind of an issue with trees and wildlife in and around the woods where this druid lives, and that there's some kind of an ailment, possibly a disease that is killing off the trees and even affecting some animal life. And so he wants you to go out there and contact with the druid and see if you could find out some information from the druid. Now, he's telling you to bring a small party because there are some local bandits in the region that he doesn't send small groups out there. So forage party of 5 or 6 members is certainly something that seems to be a reasonable number to take with you. If you have any trained foragers, that'll be all the better for you, because he does want you to investigate the forest and plant life and animal life to see what you can determine a possible cause for for this happening. All right, so your next step. So you're sent your group out to provisions. So once again, he's telling you to head towards Lamont. So you would have to, let me get my map.
Basically, our group size is determined to be something that's small enough not to get too much attention, large enough to take care of itself.
Yes.
If problems should arise. Yeah.
Now, traveling towards Lamont Lamont is just to the northwest, of your village and the village that you're in, and it's it will probably take about two days by land, possibly even 3 by land, to get around that area. Now, the druid actually lives somewhere in between, and he provides you with a map of where you will find the druid's home area where he'd most likely be found along the way. Now, there is a road that connects the two places, the two towns. It's a fairly rough road. It's not like a permanent road, and so there are frequent travelers between the two towns, especially during the times of the year when there's quite a bit of trade going between the two. All right, so okay. So what's your next step? So you sent out your guys to get some provisions and everything. You now know that at the most you should carry enough provisions for roughly 3-4 days travel. That should be enough to get out there and then back again if need be, or to certainly go all the way forward towards Linamont if you had to do that as well.
Let's say my guys have come back. Is there some sort of check I could do to see that determine if they've gotten that amount of provisions, or would we just assume?
Yeah, you could pretty much you could use a foraging check to see that. That's yeah, you could use forage check.
That's another -5 to intelligence.
Yeah.
But I have the +1, so it's actually -4. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do that. Oh, God. 3.
A 3?
So,
all right,
yeah.
yeah.
So they have nowhere near what we need.
Yeah, they they managed to, put some stuff together. But yeah, they do not have enough for, they don't have enough for the trip to go all the way out there. Now, I mean, you had your less skilled people going out and doing that. Not your like second in command. So let's see. Kind of like looks at that stuff that they, had, and with his plus, actually, he just barely made it himself. So he did make it. Yeah.
Has the foraging skill, right?
Yeah. So he tells them, no. We need enough for 4 days. He said so, and he starts pointing to the things that they need. Like, you need a little bit more of that. You need twice as much of that. We don't even need that, So he's just kind of picking through and showing them, the various things that they do need to bring, and what they need to get extra of. And he gives them a couple pieces of amber, which is the very common trade good, in order to buy those provisions. And he sends them back off on their way.
It's about 1,500 years too early for the movie Boondock Saints, but he probably tells them, guys, better get some rope. Charlie Bronson's always got rope.
Yeah. By the way, your second in command, his name is Svard. So just so you know.
I think, provided they actually come back and have done a little bit better job this time, we'll have a stay at the inn, and then we'll head out at first light.
Okay. All right.
So
let me see.
Are we going to do another check this time, or are we going to assume that this time they actually got their crap together?
I will do their foraging roll. All right. Yes, they made it, so they did get the proper stuff now. With the guidance.
So
yeah. So now you're fully provisioned up for all of you for a 2 days journey. You have your basic weapons. They have their basic weapons, and
rations.
Yeah, rations, weapons. Most of you, like, you're wearing whatever armor you've picked up along your journeys. They're wearing, simple fur, coats, and carrying basic weapons. So all of them have, 2 of them have bows.
I actually have a question. How in this game, how do you go about, like, can you sell weapons and armor? Little shop.
Yeah, they sell. Yes, they have. Well, they have craftsmen, so they'll have. You go to a blacksmith for your, swords and stuff like that. You might go to a bowyer. I forget what they call it, like a fisher for, for arrows, or a bow maker for, for bows. It depends on, like, an armor, very specialized, so you'd go to an armorer to get pieces of armor. This particular region is, and this particular village actually is well known for its high quality bows. All right, and the wood that they harvest in the little area is of very high quality bow making materials. So they tend to make well known for making high quality bows, and it's one of their trade goods. And it's the main reason why they seem to be concerned over a disease that might be affecting the trees. Because it hit right into their economy if they're not able to harvest those trees, and replenish them as they go along. So anyway, so go ahead.
You mentioned high quality wood. Would that include then that they would also make very good axes, good axe shafts?
Well, yeah. I mean, the handle of the axes are going to be, higher quality, on average, but it's the same. It's not the same as, a bow. In a sense, if you had someone who was a great weaponsmith, it's not going to be in the handle that's going to change the quality of the weapon so much as the blade itself, or the head of the axe, or the blade of the sword, or such.
Ask about selling weapons is because I was wondering, like, if there's somewhere I could sell my my short axe and get whatever money I could get out of that, because I was thinking of swapping out my short axe for a two-handed long axe.
Yeah, well,
I just haven't.
Yeah, you have a. I mean, you have whether it be money or trade items from your previous adventures. So you can pretty much get any kind of like basic common gear that you're going to need. So the system has with the various qualities of gear. You'd be able to get anything that's made from common materials. You might have enough to get a quality bow that's made locally, but that's the highest quality weapon, let's say, that you'd be able to get your hands on. So yes, you get what amounts to a +1 bow. They just don't make weapons of that level, of quality.
All right. So but there's no way that I could there's no way that I could sell the short axe.
Yeah, you could trade
money.
Yes, you could trade the short axe and along with some amber you probably already have from a previous adventure, and long axe if you wanted to. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
I see.
So
yeah,
it would be understood as I just swapped them out. Basically.
Yes. Yeah, you'd give up the short axe and probably some amber for a large axe. A two-handed axe. It's not a problem.
All right, and the amber is basically understood to be not necessarily the money I have recorded on my equipment sheet, but money I accumulate through adventuring.
Yes, your amber would have a value that's equivalent to whatever monies you have recorded on, on your character sheet at the adventure. So your character sheet probably has something like you have 36 silver, let's say. Well, it might not actually be 36 silver, it might not actually be 30 silver pieces. They didn't have minted money there, but what you would have is you would have, piece of amber that has the equivalent value of that. The monetary system in Thule is a combination of semi-precious metals, precious metals, none of it minted, all of it in fairly raw form. Same thing with semi-precious stones, precious stones, gemstones, and then other materials like amber is a fossilized tree sap, and so that's another trade item. It's semi-precious, so it does have value, and it's often used for trade.
Okay, so I've swapped out that long the short axe for the long axe.
Okay. All right.
So we're leaving.
Yeah, you leave in the morning. If not the next morning, the following morning, and okay. So you're gonna head out, and so you set out of the village and you start heading that north by that westerly travel along the way, and as you are traveling through the region and everything, like I said, there are, as you're close to the village, you do see people that are walking the road, between the two villages, so it's not as not populated as as you have been more used to other places. Here, these two towns are fairly close together, and that's something you're not too used to back on your home island, where the towns tended to be, kind of far off. I mean, even for this particular item, these two towns actually have to be, are actually as close as any here. So, it's why it's kind of a hub of trade. Is there are two towns fairly close to each other, probably only about like 2 days journey between the. All right, so your party begins to, head that way, and on the first during the first 6 hours of travel, where's my dice? During the first 6 hours of travel, there's not very there's not very much of interest along the way. You do see some people on the road, obviously tradesmen or hunters returning with their catches and such. I mean, I don't know if you're looking to have any contact with anybody. That's up to you. If you're,
we're just going to try to stay on task and make for the druids.
Okay. Yeah, so you start pushing away from the road now when you start getting towards the more wilderness, the wilderness region. So it's a pretty it's a pretty hilly and then later mountainous region towards like the more center of town of the island, and you start leaving the coastal area and pushing into tall grass and the lower lying hills until it does go out into pretty dense forested area. All right, and as you as you start approaching the late afternoon hours, you know you start thinking to yourself that this might be a good time to you know to look for a place to settle in for the night.
Do that.
All right, so
What I'll try to do is, excuse me, look for a place we can make camp maybe that has if we can find a place that's slightly elevated
okay.
and it has a little bit of cover from which we can conceal ourselves and yet be a little bit high up so that we can post maybe a sentry, one of our archers in the trees, to just kind of keep watch and see if anything's approaching.
Okay. All right. So, you being the leader, you have to make the at least initial roll. So this is your initial account roll.
Well,
It's under forage.
foraging. Oh boy.
And by the way, this is it is the springtime.
Okay, so this time I got a total of 14 with my +1 to intelligence, so 15 with the -5 penalty for not having foraging, so a total of 10.
So a total of 10. All right. So that's yes, you do find a location that that would meet the parameter that you were looking for. So it's it's something close to the wood line, but not quite into the woods, and some place that you feel fairly comfortable with. It is on a slight rise, so you can actually look down towards where the road is. You have nothing but trees offset to behind you, and you feel it would be a good spot to make camp for the evening. Now, your people traveling with you, your henchmen, basically, they go off and they start collecting some. They start collecting some of the materials that you sent them out for, and each one. All right. Three. Okay. Three of them actually return with all right. One of them, so they go out foraging, and one of them comes back with the building materials that you kind of needed to set up a small fire pit, and and some structure you could put up your like small tents or however you're
Yeah.
going to give yourself some shelter. One of them actually returned with. He said he came across a stream and come back with some fish. All right, it's not enough to feed like all of you, like where you'll be really filled out, but it will certainly be enough to supplement and give you at least a little bit of good protein and
Not having to use our rations so early.
yeah, you won't have to use as much of your rations. So that was a good one. And then one returned with some mushrooms. All right, that he knows are edible mushrooms that that you could probably mix with the fish. So
making up for their abysmal performance on the first shopping trip in the town.
So there is no actual cooking skill. So it just use again, we just use like foraging. So foraging, basically it's an intelligence skill. Foraging. It's only -2 for not having the foraging skill. Actually, one of them is actually a pretty decent cook, so he said he can cook the stuff.
Oh wait, I was looking at something else. It turns out I've been penalizing myself. I actually do have the foraging skill. I don't know what I was looking at.
Oh, okay. So you'd be regular bonus then, or so, +1
rather than the -5. I was looking at healing. That's what I was looking at.
Oh, okay. Yeah, foraging is only -2 for untrained, and it's it would be minus. It would be -2 if you don't have. Yeah. All right. So.
Yeah, penalize myself for my reading skills.
Okay, so you're so you guys kind of set up for the night. So
you still there?
Yeah, so yes, I'm here. No, I was just reading something real quick. All right, so you're you guys are setting up for the night and cooking. It's about dusk, and one of your foragers, he comes back. He has some more firewood, for the fire, and he tells you that while he was out there collecting, some kindling, that he saw some bear signs.
Ooh.
All right, he said that there was there's a trail, and like a game trail, and he saw some claw marks high up on a tree, and he said that that's usually the sign of a bear in the area.
I don't really look favorably on hunting, killing wolves or bears personally, unless it's absolutely necessary, unless it's a threat.
Right.
As long as they're not a threat to our camp, I would say leave it be.
Yeah, if you keep a fire going, that's usually should be enough to keep any wild animal away from your camp.
And like I said, we've got at least one person I've posted up in the trees keeping watch.
Okay. All right. So you go through the night, and when you guys wake up in the morning, the one of your men comes over to you and he tells you that he hears, he hears movement out there in the woods.
Is he one of my more experienced woodsmen, or which one is he?
No, he's the one from the local. He's a local.
Okay.
So he's more experienced with the area.
Not an experienced adventurer, hunter.
Well, no, he is a hunter. Yeah, so he does have foraging experience. He's the one that identified the bear sign, and
okay.
So he said that there certainly is a bear in the local area, and it's moving around, fairly close to, the camp. He heard it. It's close enough. So it's up to you what you want to do.
I think I'll send him, if he thinks it's a bear, I think I'll send him out to just sort of, with the instructions, just sort of make a circular sweep around the area. I'm going to take one good woodsman with him. I don't want him going anywhere alone.
Okay.
And just have him, after that circular sweep, report back to us. And I've also commanded my sentry up in the trees to kind of keep an eye on them, tell us down on the ground what's going on.
Okay. All right, they're gone for about 20 minutes or so, and then you hear like a ruckus in the off in the distance, and then you see your two guys are running back towards the camp. All right, and you hear the heavy breathing and growling, of the bear on its way towards your camp.
Obviously, at this point, I order everyone to arm themselves.
Yeah. So
ready.
You guys start preparing yourselves, and each of you will other. Remember, you add dexterity bonus.
For initiative?
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
And that's just that's a single D6, right?
Yes. Plus your.
Yeah. Plus the. Is it plus dexterity or strength?
Yeah, it's plus dexterity.
Okay. Which is a +1 for me. All right. 1, so 2. Wow.
All right, so you rolled a 2.
Yeah. What about my sentry up in the trees? I figured he would have, seen this first.
Yeah, one of your and one of them is your bowman, and he gets a bonus, obviously. So you have 2 bowmen, right? And so they're actually going to be able to attack first. The bear.
your camera hasn't kicked in yet.
No, I think because it's recording on the other one, so the camera's not going to kick in. No, you
Okay.
can't. Yeah, I can't record and on the XSplit, which is actually recording this screen, and this being open as well. It's doing both.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure you were.
At least I think it's doing both. I wish I could check and make sure we're not just getting a blank screen. I'm assuming it's doing a screen capture.
All right. If I bring up something like another tab, will that mess that up?
No, it has no effect on. It's no effect on. We're at least getting, at the very least, we're getting audio, because that is.
If I was looking at something while you're rolling for my NPCs, it's still what you're recording is what my
It's actually what it's doing is I can tell now it's recording you. All right, it's recording what is on on my screen. So it is doing that. It's not showing me. It's showing my icon in the corner, but it's not showing. It's not even showing that. I don't think. If it is, it is. For the most part, it's like it's just recording you.
All right. I'll just ask somebody. I'll just do that on my phone just in case. I don't want to mess up the recording.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Like I said, this is not the. I used to use the Xbox to record, and then we had no problem. It wasn't operating on both, like the cameras, where it was not running that problem. Perhaps if I got a second camera, it would actually work, but we'll see. So anyhow, all right. So the bear. Let me explain to you the bear. All right, or at least so as you're preparing yourself, and at the right hand. So as you're preparing yourself, so it was unlikely that you would have caught a wild animal by surprise in these woods. So you're guys going out there and kind of looking for it, and trying to stay hidden from the bear was not likely. But at least this encounter with the bear is daylight, and it wasn't during the nighttime. Right? The bear. So you see it. It looks like it's a typical brown bear. Other than the fact that the bear has some discoloration to it, to its fur and everything, and there's patches of its fur that seem to be kind of mangy and having fallen out and such. Just in a real quick glimpse that you get as the bear is charging in, you can see that it's obviously not a healthy bear. All right, that it seems to be, and the fact that it is attacking a camp of armed humans is also kind of strange behavior for an animal, a solitary animal of this type. All right, so you are going to. So what was your total? Yours was like a 3.
My total what?
Your initiative. I'm sorry.
It was a 2. It was 1, and then the +1.
+1. All right. So your bowmen are going to fire first. All right, and. Okay. All right, your first bowman fires, and that's a 3, 6, 7. barely a hit. All right, the second one shoots. All right, so your two bowmen fire, and they both hit. It doesn't seem to, arrows. The one hit a little bit better than the other. The other was barely a graze. The other one, hit it still, didn't quite take. Bears have some pretty tough skin, and so kind of lodged. You could see it kind of wiggles as the bear is charging inward. Svard, pulled out his, so he carries an axe, a hand axe, like you had gotten rid of, and so he takes that out, and that's his primary weapon, and your other two henchmen pull out they have long sacks, and they take their weapons out as well. So second in law is Svard. So Svard is going to attack with his axe, and he misses. He would get. Oh, he hit with his. All right. The bear actually attacks now, and so the bear's into the mix of you. You have two archers that are off, like they're kind of keeping your distance. One up in a stand, and the other is down on the ground. So the bear really has only 4 potential targets: yourself, Svard, and 2 of the guys on the ground, or within that range. So, do you want to be 1, 2, 3, or 4?
I'll be 3.
You'll be 3. All right, so it's not you. All right, he attacks Svard. All right, and so 6, 10. Yep, it hit. All right, so it does hit him with a claw. All right, it takes a swipe at him, and his armor. He's wearing boiled leather, armor, and it does scratch through. You tell that it does get through a little bit through the armor, but not very much. More of the force kind of hit him more so than the actual wound. So it does push him a little bit off. Yeah, it basically pushes him a little bit off balance, and and now it is up to you. Get to attack.
+1 to strength is when I'm rolling hit, right?
Yes, it does. Dexterity is for damage, for your missile attacks, but the strength bonus to
Okay.
hit with the strength bonus.
Total offensive value is that's figured into rolling for hit, right?
Yes. Yes. So
okay. And that, my strength is figured into that.
Yes, your strength bonus will figure into your roll for to hit, and then the quality of your hit. So I'll tell you, like, quality of your hit, if it exceeds its defensive value for melee, then the range of quality above what you need is what increases the damage that you do.
So if my total with all my mods and everything, my total OV is a +4, then I'm just rolling the 3d6 and adding that.
And then adding the +4, correct.
Okay, got it. One of them went off the floor. Okay. 10, 11, +4, 15.
All right, so you rolled a 15. So just for for your understanding, for anybody watching, you rolled 6 above what you needed. So 5 to 6 greater than the defense value is a good hit, and it does an extra +2 damage.
Okay. When I roll for damage, I'm going to be using my long axe.
Right.
My new axe. That's a D12 +1. And so with that +2, I guess that'll be a grand total of 3.
+3, right.
Okay, so D12 +3. 7 +3, so a 10 damage.
All right.
On that.
So
liking this weapon so far.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, you hit it with a pretty solid hit. Definitely going to catch its attention with that hit, and let's just. I need a D10.
He's like, ow!
Yeah. So, and it was a torso hit as well. So, probably because it was on Savard, you probably came in from the side and you hit it into its side. So it was a torso hit. It was a pretty solid hit. Like if that were on a person, you'd practically kill a person with that, with that one strike. But certainly a solid hit. Certainly got its attention. And now your person on your side, he attacks, and he got a pretty decent hit too with his.
So basically, not a killing blow on a bear, but a nasty one.
Right? Yeah. Not a killing blow. Your other guy, he actually comes in with his long knife, and he swiped at it, but it didn't even affect the bear. It barely cracked the skin. All right, so initiative once again.
That was our basically that was the conclusion of our first round of combat.
That was the conclusion of your first round of combat. Yes, everybody had gone.
Okay, 5 plus dexterity for initiative, you said?
Yes.
Okay, plus 1, 6.
All right. Let me see. I'm rolling. Let me see how these guys do. So, he's a 4. But he's with a bow, so. Two, 1, and the bear. All right. So one of your all right. So one of the bowman attacks first. All right, and he hit. Once again, his arrow, his arrow, it's hit, hits the bear, and once again, it does stick, it does get there a little bit, but the bear is so erratically moving around, now swiping and spinning and kind of engaging you as you guys are, you're not just standing in place and fighting this thing. You guys are constantly moving around, trying to position, trying to stay directly away from it. You only grab the bear's attention when you hit it, so it's definitely looking at you. And that arrow hit didn't distract it at all from being intent on you. And second guy comes in with his Sayax, and again, he might have to sharpen his short or his long knife because once again he do enough to even get through the bear's hide. You rolled a 6 total.
Yeah, kind of wondering about the mushrooms that one guy gathered, because he's got this guy thinking he can attack a bear with a rusty Sayax.
Yeah. All right. So the next guy, it's your turn actually. So you go now.
All right. One fell off. Okay, so 14 plus 4 OB, that's, wow, 18.
All right, so an 18 that's an exceptional hit, and you are going to plus 8.
Plus how much?
8. 8. Total plus 9, yeah. So 12 plus 9. D12 plus 9. Yeah.
Well, it was a measly 2, but plus 9, so a total of 11.
11, so.
Kicking that bear's ass.
Yeah. All right, so once again, another, pretty hefty hit. That time actually caught on one of its legs. Let me see. Actually, you caught it on its left front leg, and that kind of a hit probably, I'd say that probably incapacitated that particular leg. It definitely, jammed down on it. With that kind of bonus, you actually roll for, your cut effect and bleed. So you can roll 3d6 for your cut effect.
All right, 3d6. Do I factor any bonuses into that?
It's plus mod, so to put your strength bonus into it, yes. So it would be a plus.
Plus 1.
Actually,
yeah, plus 1.
Actually, would it count as a -1 chart here? You want to roll. Low, yeah. So 3d6 minus 1. Yes.
Okay. 10, 11, minus 1, 10.
Yeah, there's no effect on cut, and
okay. So now
and your shock effect Now, your weapon has cut and shock effects, so that's what you'd be looking at as far as your modifiers are concerned. So you're looking at your cut and shock for the weapon.
Okay, that's
yeah. So, like, just so you know, let's
it's on
see.
page 49.
Yeah, I'm looking at here as well. So let's see. A battle axe, which is a long-handed, is it's plus 0, plus 0. So that's easy. Yeah. Although you'd think battle axe would have a shock effect, but it's 0 plus 0.
All right. So does that roll account for both cut and shock? Or
No, you can roll shock separate.
Okay, so I'm rolling shock.
Yeah.
That's just strength.
Still strength
figure
is
into
still
that as
minus. Yeah, it reduces it by 1.
But it'll actually be a plus 1. God. 10, 15.
No. Yeah.
Plus, so 16. My math is right.
No, you're not adding. You're adding the. Actually, subtract your strength bonus. Just your strength bonus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's a 14.
Right.
So yeah. So that's no effect. And greater than 10 is no effect. I'm gonna roll low.
Okay. All right.
So bear goes. Is your defensive value melee is
13.
what?
13.
13? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. He just hit you. And yeah, so he does regular damage. He just hit you. Actually 1 point above what we needed. So he does 2 points of damage. All right. So you're wearing any kind of armor, that's going to reduce it by at least 1.
Yeah, I haven't bought one yet, so I just have the standard.
We have the fur coat, so that would minus 1. So yeah, so he barely scratches you with a, you have the minus 1 for your AV.
Okay.
All right. And it is, oh, wait, so you're on the 6. The other one on the 5. Svard goes on the 5.
I figure.
Yeah, he missed. All right, it's next round.
Okay, round 3.
Yeah, round 3. So, roll a 2.
1 plus the dexterity, so 2. Wow. Seems like I'm getting damaging, but I'm not good with these initiative rolls.
And the bear. What'd you roll, a 3?
I rolled a 1 and then my dexterity bonus.
A 2. All right.
Gave me a 2.
All right. So let's see. The 2 archers are going simultaneously, actually. That's a hit. All right. Second one. Ooh, that's a good hit. Let's see. He goes. That's good. No damage. You're oh wait, no, the bear goes. Bear's attacking
Yeah.
you. Bear misses you. And now he rolled a 2, you rolled a 2. So it's both you and Svard going at the same time.
Oh, wow. I managed to actually do it without dropping on this one. So a grand total of 12 on the dice plus my 4 OV, so 16 total.
All right, so a 16, you are going to. That's a very good hit plus 4 damage.
Okay. So what's my bonus on that?
A total plus 4.
Plus 4. Okay. Is that including the plus 1 that's on the axe?
Yeah, no. Oh, it's plus 5 total.
Okay. 10 plus 5, 15.
All right.
Should have like this.
All right, and you like you got a headshot on him with that. So you bring your axe down, onto. Actually, both did shot. So you both simultaneously. He comes down with his axe. You're with your, your axe there, and you both hit in the head. And actually, both of your hits were, killing strikes. So it's kind of hard to tell who was doing it. He actually, I rolled his first, and his brought it down to a -5, and then yours brought it to a -20. So
it's
the splits. Yeah, it's flat. Yeah, it just obliterates this. He probably brained it, and you probably cut it off. So that's and the bear just slumps down. Right, it is. Yes. So
he is an bear.
Yeah. All right, so
One reference for viewers.
Yeah, so you guys start composing yourselves a little bit, and so after the battle, you find any wounds. So you guys have very minor wounds, actually. Nothing bleeding, nothing, just scratches here and there, and you bind any wounds, and then take the time to inspect the bear. All right. If it were healthy instead of lean, disease, which you can tell now that it's obviously it's got a very maybe grayish kind of fur in patches missing in patches. It's its skin is very raw and almost
it's odd behavior.
And it's odd behavior and everything, although it's not foaming at the mouth, which you would usually associate with a rabid animal. It's certainly, affected by something, and that's what you were kind of sent out here to investigate.
Yes.
All right. So,
we're thinking this is probably related.
Yeah. The even during the combat, I mean, you, as you're thinking back to it, yes, it did attract attention to, really to you because you dealt more damage. So it certainly focused on you, but it wasn't acting like it was really being hurt. It was almost impervious to the pain.
Like a berserker.
Yeah, it was very much like a berserker would be in, or just something just, wasn't reacting to pain. It lost the use of one leg, you know, but it never like roared out in pain when it was getting hit. Not by the arrows, not by your axes. It just kept on, just fighting along. All right. Now you can make a world lore check now. 'Cause now you're like really inspecting the animal.
Let's
So it's going to be an intelligence +1 -5.
a -4.
Yeah.
And again, I managed to do it without dropping any off the table this time. So 16 minus 4,
12. All right. Well, good. You actually made a world lore check. All right. So let's see. Animal and world lore. Or you could have done religious to determine that the disease did not appear to be, for some reason, like you're looking at it and you've never seen or heard anything like this disease. Like I said, it wasn't acting like it was rabid. All right. You notice now notice that the gray patches and everything that are on this bear, you can start to see, like in the distance, there are some trees that have the same kind of, coloration to its bark as well. Right, and so you're seeing that, potentially what afflicted this bear is also afflicting the trees. All right, which, if you want to make another world lore roll, you try to make another one.
And the luck with not throwing off the table has ended. I think I'm going to use this cup. That's actually why I kind of brought that in here. So, 5, 9, 12 minus 4, 8.
Once again, just barely, but yes, an 8 is good. All right. You've never heard of any disease that affects both plants and animals. That's all that you can think of, is that, usually something that affects plants affects plants. It affects animals, it affects animals. You've never heard of anything that affects both.
So I'm fairly certain that this is something unnatural.
Yes, that's your impression, is that this is something unnatural.
So I would guess that it's probably because it was kind of late in the evening when this whole situation started with the bear. So I'm guessing night has fallen by now.
No, this was in the morning. This combat was in the morning. Yes, yeah. This combat was in the morning.
So the night passed uneventful.
Yeah. Yes, the night was uneventful, other than like the first few notions that there was potentially a bear out there.
Then I think we need to make haste to the druid. Get
so
situation seems to be only getting worse.
All right, so after having traveled for a few hours more, deeper into the hilllands, you're led by the one guy that's the local guy. He's reading the map. You're led by the hunter to a hut in the deep woods. All right, and here is the abode of the druid Aramak. So as you enter in, he has it's like a small hut, like a yurt, one of those circular, circular buildings, and small fence up and around it. You could see some animals that he has there, chickens, cats and some other, things up and around his, up and around his house. And he actually happens to be outside as you guys are approaching through through the woods. And you see him, he's not an elderly man. I mean, for some reason, like you might have had the impression that, he's probably in his 40s, and he looks, he looks fairly, average as far as people in the region are concerned. He looks like he's fairly, you know he's not frail. He's kind of like built in an average way. Um, Probably close to 6 foot tall. Probably between 180, 190 pounds. Um, Again, like you wouldn't you wouldn't look at him and see anything than any other woodsman that you have ever come across. And so he greets you as you're approaching.
So, I actually will step forward and offer a handshake, introduce myself, and go in turn and introduce my party. Good manners. And I'll tell him that we've been sent by the Thane of the Huntsman to find him and apprise him of what has happened so far.
Okay, so he tells you the trees, the trees being diseased and the corruption of some of these animals. He suggests that if anybody should have gotten injured at all by the bear, and you had no real bleeding wounds, so he's seems to be kind of relieved that you have actually received any kind of any kind of serious bleeding wounds from this thing. So he said that there is some remedies that he believes might work for anybody that gets afflicted of this, and he tells you that there are some herbs that you can go out there and gather, forage for. And he said at the shrine he could then make a sacrifice, because he does believe that this disease is not a naturally a natural agent of cause here. He believes that there's something that has changed in the in the region.
When you say he wants to make a sacrifice, would that be an animal sacrifice? Anything?
Yes, he says yes. He said that he needs you to. He's going to send you out to. You need to get the heart of a monarch raven. All right, so
okay.
Now
so my group of 6 people, right? 6 people total.
Yeah. Yes, your group has a total of 6 people. Now, what's your life stage?
I'll leave. Also true.
All right, so your religious life stance. So you can make a roll on religious lore, even if you don't have it. If you don't have it, let me see. Religious lore is
Tradition.
it's charisma, and it is -5 for
I have a charisma +1, so it'll be -4.
-4.
Okay, so I have 15 -4, 11.
Okay. All right, so all right, so what he said is he sends you out to, he's telling you that you need to get the heart of monarch raven, and based on your religious lore, you're thinking that that's kind of a very strange request, considering the Skanpan Islands. All right, and the Skanpan is the Skanpan's animal that it reveres most is a raven. All right, Skanpan is named after that is the symbol of the god, and for him to be something that you need to sacrifice the animal of the deity that this island has been dedicated to is kind of strange, and your Satru and understanding the religious lore, even of this area that's not familiar to you, you still understand the gravity of what he's asking you to do.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave 2 people there with him under the pretense of helping him with anything he needs. But because this is a strange quest, we've already got strange things going on, I'm going to take them aside and tell them also to just keep an eye on the druid and look for any strange behavior. Be mindful of any strange things he says. Another group of 2 will go out and look for the herbs, and then myself and one other person will look for the sacrifice.
All right. Well, based on your religious lore that the raven is it's an animal that, or it's a in religious tradition, it's believed to be obviously the harbinger of Odin. And if you're looking for a very particular type of raven, and those are the ravens that according to religious tradition visit battlefields and take the spirits of the soldiers or the fallen combatants, and they will usher them to Valhalla. And so for him asking to get a monarch raven, which is believed to be the more semi-intelligent ravens that do this, in particular, so he's actually telling you to find a battlefield, and that's where you find this, these ravens, and then kill a raven, and bring it back to him, so he can then sacrifice it. So he's asking you to perform religious ritual, which he apparently believes might be the way to stop this this unnatural disease or corruption, whatever it might, how you might want to describe it.
Yeah, and that strange request is why I'm leaving 2 of my guys under the pretense.
All right.
Helping him to watch him.
So,
it's myself and one other person. We're going to look for this raven. Meanwhile, two others are looking for the.
All right, so you can make a either a perception or a searching roll. You're basically looking for a battlefield, or some place where
Perception's related to intelligence, and I have an intelligence +1. Yeah. So I'll roll perception. Okay. 10, 15, 16. So 16 on the perception.
All right. So, yeah, so you as you're searching around, looking for various signs of, whether it be battlefields or, just human passage, you do find yourself kind of close to where the road kind of winds through this region, because you are in between the two towns. So you spot your perception roll revealed the road, that's between two towns, but you do notice that there's another pathway that kind of peels off from the road, and it goes down into a gully area, and then some deep woods that's off to the side, and you could tell by the passage, that it looks like it's not it's not as well traveled a trail as the road is between the two villages, but it's certainly something that wasn't just passed through once. It's certainly something that looks like people on foot have traveled, several times.
Okay. So I'll just I don't know what kind of role it would be, but I guess I'll examine this more closely. Who is with which member of the party is with me?
You have the local guy. You have your second command, and you have one of your bowmen. So you left two of the others, behind.
Yeah. Well, I left them behind, and then I sent another group of two out to forward.
Oh, that's right. Then you would have. Then it would just be you and your second in command.
Okay. So yeah, we'll just examine that closely. I don't know what kind of role.
Well, yeah, you're working off that last roll that you did, and he says, you know what, this could be. He said this could be a path used by some of the local bandits. He said if we don't come upon a battlefield, he said we can, perhaps find some bandits and outlaws and make a battlefield. Basically.
Yeah. You want to get us as much experience points as possible.
Yeah.
Fourth wall break.
So he suggests that you go back to the druid and collect up these other guys, and then make your way over here, first thing tomorrow morning and see what you can scrounge up.
Could I perhaps take? Well, did my two guys that were looking for the others, did they find the others?
Yeah, because they were told where to find them and everything, so they did return back with the
Right,
with the ingredients that they needed, and all when your travels looking around, you can stumble upon any kind of a battlefield. So
so that I don't need a group of two out doing that. I think the next morning I'll take a group of 4 out to look for bandits. But I'm still going to leave 2 with the druid because I just have a weird feeling about him.
all right. So
I still want them to keep an eye on him. For the rest, the remaining 4 of us were trotting.
Are you taking? So you had the local guy, you had 2 bowmen, and you had the guy with the long blade, the long knife. To say.
Okay, so does that mean Zvard and somebody else?
Zvard is coming with you. You have your choice of the 4 guys. Which were you leaving behind? You had 2 archers.
Okay. One would be me, the 2 archers, and Zvard.
Okay. All right, so you're leaving him behind. So these 3 you're taking with you. All right. Okay, so you're going to head out, and now you're searching for the bandit camp. All right, let me. Okay. All right, so you guys head out the next morning, and you leave the 2 guys behind, and you start. So your group of 4 head out, and it's 4, right? And you go to that spot that you discovered, and you start heading down down that pathway. How are you heading down? Like, what exactly are you doing at this point?
All right, I'm going to instruct my 2 archers to head out, 1 each to our left and right, and see if they can get a position up in the trees. And I'm going to have Svard kind of stay where he is and watch in the direction of the road behind us, and then I'm going to advance from our viewpoint forward and look in that direction.
Yeah. Well, they won't necessarily be able to climb the trees per se. What they will be able to do is they hang back, so you're not taking the lead.
Okay.
You have 2
They
behind
can kind of
you.
watch our son.
Yeah, they're kind of like off behind you, watching. And
so basically, one's watching to our left, one's watching to our right. Or is keeping an eye on the road behind us.
Yes.
And I'm going.
Yes.
So we've got all directions. Somebody's watching each direction.
Yeah. Now, are you walking into walking down the path? Or are you
Yeah, I'm walking down the path and trying to, if there's any kind of brush, any growth, any like large trees, boulders, whenever I can, I try to keep any cover.
All right, so you're trying to move some amount of stealth, so you can make a stealth roll.
Okay, that's dexterity, and I have a +1 on dexterity. Okay. 9, 12 plus 1, 13.
Okay. All right, so you start, making your way, towards the, down this pathway towards the woods, and what's your hit points?
I was going to ask about that. Now, my base hit points were 26, but I did take 1 point of damage during the fight. Now, you said that we had...
yeah, that would have healed up. That would have been taken care of.
Okay, so I'm back up to my 26.
All right.
I want to make sure I was accurate on that.
All right. All right, you just took a crossbow bolt to your left leg. All right, and it goes through your armor, and it logs in there pretty good. It's a good hit. All right, so you just took 6 points of damage even after your so
I'm down to 20.
yeah.
And I'm really mad.
And the second bolt had hit you, but it only, it kind of got like lodged into your armor and just kind of grazed past, so it didn't, it didn't do any damage. But the one in your leg definitely caught meat on the way in.
All right.
So now at this point is initiative. Actually, your archers would go next anyway. So.
Okay, well, I rolled a 6 plus my dexterity, so 7.
Okay, so you have a 7.
I guess that roll represents me being really pissed off right now.
All right, so let's see. Let me get these initiative rolls written down. And you rolled 7. All right. So. Alrighty, so 2 archers already fired, and you had 6, 8. Your 2 archers fired 6, 8, 8, 7. You have a 7. You're going next.
Okay. So we've now figured out who we're fighting.
They're definitely outlaws. You can tell by the coloration of their clothing and such. And you see the 2 crossbowmen that just fired at you. So as you were, as you were coming down the slope and into the tree lines, you can see a small camp that's set up over, just inside the trees. And these 2 guys were, near its perimeter, and so they saw you coming down. So they kind of had surprise. Yeah, and they're within crossbow range. Your two guys, 2 archers are going to fire at them. Okay.
I guess as they're firing, I'm advancing.
Yes. One of your archers actually hit the guy. Hit him with a decent hit, and they're missed. So you start charging ahead with your battle axe raised, and as far as going to go next. So he's the same thing. He's charging in. All right, and he'll approach that guy, and he can attack. All right. He missed. What's your DVME? Defensive value melee?
13.
Man, that's so high. Nope, he missed. That missed. Everybody. And a 10 is gonna miss. Yeah, it's pretty hard to hit melee. Everybody has like a base, a base level. So the DVME is usually plus 10 or plus 13 or like that. Plus 11 for very common people. So it's kind of hard to hit with weapons unless melee weapons. Unless you're pretty strong. All right. And
wait, were you my melee or my missile? Because these guys said are using crossbows.
Yeah, they use their missile.
Oh, my missile's lower. It's 11.
Yeah, so he's still. Yeah, that was only 2-point difference. It's still a regular hit. So you took the damage of a regular hit regardless. So we'll keep the
how much damage?
The 6 point took 7 points total, but because your armor became 6.
Okay. So he fired again.
No, he fired again.
Okay, so am I up now?
Yes.
Okay. Somebody's going to die. Okay. So 4 with my over 4, so 8 total. Anything.
All right, yeah, that's going to miss.
miserably.
Not miserable. It's still miserable. All right, and that's it for the round. So now you see that you're engaged with a group of 6. So it's your 4 against their 6. Now, I mean, they hit you in the leg, pretty good. One of them took a decent arrow hit as well. He's probably a little bit worse off than you're much hardier. And the other also took some damage. So you guys are... I'm going to keep the initiative this round where it was before. And so archers are going to go because they're not engaged. Wow, that's a good roll. All right, so...
Well, I'm not going to roll again.
No.
Right. We're just keeping myself.
Yeah, we're going to keep in the order that it was at because archers automatically are going to go first anyway.
Yeah.
Their pluses.
And then Spar would probably move a tiny bit quicker than me because of my wound.
Right.
So that makes sense.
All right, so 2 archers fired. They actually, one of the guys actually went down, so they actually killed one of the
Down to 5.
You're down to 5 now. So bow done. What'd you roll? Oh, you didn't do initiative. So as far as you had a 7, so you're gonna go next.
Okay. Okay. I go dropping off to the earth again. Okay. 10, 13 plus 4, 17. That's a lot better.
All right, that's a lot of damage. All right, let's see who you hit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, you're probably the other. You're on the other guy anyway. So archer. That's intuitive. A crossbowman. All right, so would you roll a 17?
Yeah, that was with my OV total.
Yeah.
It was a 13 with my plus 4 OV.
All right. So that's plus. So that's 7 above. That's a very good hit. It's 4 damage. So
okay. And then
D12
so it'll be plus 5 because
yes. Yeah, D12 plus 5.
Yeah. Okay, I got a question on these. Mm-hmm. When you have the 6/9 and it's got a line on it, is that a 6 or a 9?
On a D12, it's
yeah.
Let me see. The 9 is the one with the line is underneath the number. So with 6, it's not. The line is underneath the number.
Okay, so that would be a 9 then.
A 9, yes. So 9 plus 5, 14 points. All right. I'm just rolling hit location. And
right.
I do want my D10.
No.
A 7 or so hit. Yeah.
Sorry.
Not a problem.
Needed more tea.
All right, so you hit this guy with a torso hit that certainly is going to instantly kill. You want to describe it, or?
Okay, so I this is one.
Yeah, maybe not the one.
Oh.
You're not sure if it was the one that actually hit you. Actually, it was the one that hit you.
So I run up, I kind of zombie shuffle up to him. I'm like, well, looks like I'm hobbling into this and you're being carried out of it by whatever god you worship. And I scream in rage and just embed that axe just like from his stomach all the way to his spine.
Yeah, you blast through him and obviously
And I
rips
kick
right
him off
through him.
and
Yeah,
spit.
it probably spins him around, because it catches right through his, right through his torso, probably grates across the spine and comes right out the backside. So he tore his side wide open, and he probably spins around from the impact and falls down, practically instantly dead. Might seconds longer, and now they are going to make I'm going to have them. Nope. All right, so they're nope, it doesn't. I had them make a morale check because they just two people, and
One of them really badly.
yeah. So you just went as far as attacks. He's gonna hit that. Oh, pen just died. All right, so hard went. So now it's those three. On you, missed. That's only a 5. 9, nope, 9 didn't hit anybody. And 11 hit. 4, only 1 point of damage, so that's on Svard. Svard doesn't take any damage from that. Basically, he's hit by a long knife, but it just grazed along his boiled leather armor and didn't actually draw any blood. All right, so the next round, third round.
All right. Are we going to roll for initiative or keep our same order?
No, keep the same order because now you're 2 archers,
Yeah.
13, that's a hit. 6. Archer. 12, that's a hit. You're going to go next. your archers now are are hitting pretty well. They moved in a little bit, and now they're just taking shots at these guys. These guys are, so there's 4 of them left. 2 of them just took arrow hits. One a little bit more serious than the other, and there's a third one. There's a fourth that engaged on on guard, and the other is moving in on you now. So the other 2 that are taking those hits, they're shifting out and heading towards your archers.
Yeah.
So they've kind of
towards me.
Yeah, there's one coming towards you, and then the other is on Svard.
Okay, so 12 plus 4, that's 16.
All right, so 16. 16 for you is higher than you. No, it's not 7. It's 5 higher. So that's a good hit. It's going to be plus 2 damage.
Plus 2. And then so a total of
plus
D12
3,
plus
12,
3.
3, right.
I'll roll a measly 2 plus 3, so 5.
5.
I hurt him, but didn't doubt that killed him.
Yeah, but it's a good quality hit. So you can check for. You can roll 3d6 for cut, and then shock. You have no pluses, so just roll 3d6.
Okay, 10, 12, and
All right, that had no effect.
The dexterity or something?
No, it's strength would be a -1, so it would bring it down a little bit. You want low in order to create
okay,
but no, you're too high for it. But you could do shock, so you could roll.
It's
shock
like
now.
That is low, shock is high, right?
No, shock is low also. On these tables, you want to roll low.
Okay. 13, so yeah, no cut, no shock.
Yeah, you want to roll below a 10 in order on those 2 charts.
With those 3 6s, I'm not good at rolling low.
Yeah. Let's see. All right, so there. Leader attacks no. And then the guy that you just hit. Ooh, he actually got a hit. The 15. You're 13, so plus 2. He's going to do regular damage. So he attacks you, and he does 2 points of damage. All right, your armor is 2 points total, so you're going to take 1 point of damage. So down to 19. All right, so he did hit. You hit also. All right. And now finally these 2 guys. And 9. Tell him, oh, he's going to hit. He hits one of your archers for no damage. Okay. And 4th round.
Keeping the same initiative?
Yeah. Yeah, so your archers are going to go first. That's a hit. All right. Svard, you're up next. You have 7.
Another 17 total.
All right. So you're going to destroy this guy. You don't even have to roll. He was almost dead anyway. So you just blast him apart. Let's see.
So I can just roll and just to see how bad it is.
Yeah. 17 is going to be very good. It's going to be a +4.
Okay. 11 plus 4, 15.
15, yeah.
I get to describe my hit.
Yeah. So D10. I keep on losing my D10. Where's my D10? Oh, there it is. Torso hit. Let me use D10.
Okay. You said it was a torso hit?
Yes.
So I'll say I came up diagonally from his left and basically diagonally just cut him in half.
Yeah. All right. So you pretty much obliterate him, and let's see. Well, their morale is holding up pretty well. All right, so Savard goes. Oh, he hit well too. So 6, 9, 12. Not a good hit though, as far as getting through armor. All right, they attack. You rolled a 10 and missed. Rolled a 10 and missed. Rolled a 12, he hit. Okay. And it is your call. What is this, round 5? Yeah, so you guys are like kind of like shifting around and fighting and huffing, and you're now there's only 3 of them left. There's 4 of you. One of your guys took some damage. He's the first one taken. Well, after you actually taken the most damage, but that was like initially right off the bat. Taking that crossbow bolt to the leg.
Rolled a 9 with an OV of 4, so 13.
All right, 13's enough to hit, and let's see which. All right, so you're on one of the other guys that was actually going towards the archers. Like, so as they came up past you, you probably turned around and went towards them. Because they were running past to go towards the archers. So, and this guy you're attacking is actually already wounded.
So, is that just a regular hit?
Yes, that's just a regular hit. So 12, D12 plus 1.
10 plus 1, 11.
11. All right. And you hit him in the torso.
So I didn't really need much of a bonus for him.
No, he's down. He's dead as well. Didn't
Okay.
quite generate him as much as the others, but yeah, you certainly, you know, probably cut him across the like the shoulder and put him down, buried him down. Ooh. Let's see. Finally, they rolled kind of low. They are now afraid. They're now afraid. So,
just a question: Do any of the 4 people here have healing as a skill?
oh, you can always ask when the battle's over, and then you'll find out.
Ask who?
You'll ask afterwards. You know the the druid had offered to heal anybody that needed to be, so you know the druid can heal.
Okay. Even though I'm kind of suspicious of him.
Yeah, he's but he did offer to heal anybody when you came in. Like you kind of suspect that he can heal.
All right. So
so there's only 2 of them left, and they're actually quite afraid, and they both kind of yield.
Well, I hurt my leg pretty bad, so I'm not allowing people to yield.
Right, so you can go on the other one that was towards the archer, and we'll just go with. So he's going to still, when he's still coming at him, he's going to attack you. Against you anyway, because they're at -2s now, and then the other is going to attack Savard, and with his -2, no, that's not. That's only a 9, so he does Savard. All right. It would be initiative now. Your 2 archers go with the one guy that's on you. Now they're at a +2 to hit, so that's definitely a hit. And the second one, that's a 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's a hit. Oof. All right. That's a pretty solid arrow shot in him. Now, are you going to attack the one that's by the altar, or are you going to... I mean, he was as close to you, actually.
Yeah, I'm going to attack the closest one to me.
All right.
So I'm basically... I have this one. I'm actually going to switch back to my... I'm basically just kind of walking right up to him, with murderous intent, and I'm going to just chain this thing right through. Oh, wow. So 17 plus my OV of 4 is 21. He's fucked.
Yeah. So you're going to definitely kill him. All right.
So, yes,
yeah, the plus this because you have the extra +2. What am I looking at here? It's a perfect hit, +10. So more than enough to obliterate him.
So I'm rolling my D8. That's +10.
Yes.
Okay, so spear is D8 +1, so it's D8 +11. Okay, so 3 + 11, 14.
Well, yeah, that's failing him.
Just describing my hit. I basically rolled right up to him, looked him right up, and they took the spear and just, right in the center of him, and actually lifted him up off the ground, threw him off my spear in dust.
All right, and Savarsi actually knocked this guy down, with a hit, and that guy is like scrambling on the ground. Yeah, he's holding up his hands, basically begging for mercy. He's pretty wounded as well, and he's dressed, better. He's in better armor than the other guys. So you might even think that he might be the bandit leader or the outlaw group leader that you just dispatched.
He is in no position to harm us at this point.
No, he threw down his weapon. He's on his knees, basically.
All right. I'll call the guys off. We won't kill him for now. And I'm going to approach him. Like, it's interesting sitting here begging for mercy, but you're in the habit of attacking unwary travelers unprovoked. So I'm wondering how many people you for mercy. So why should I let you live? That's what I said to him.
He just said that I yield. And that's basically all he does.
So I just kind of slap him a little bit, and I'm like, you can yield all you want, but you better give me a better answer to my question. I haven't decided if I'm going to let you live. You better give me a good reason why I should.
Savard says that maybe there's a bounty on his head. So maybe we just
Savard. That's a good idea. Excellent idea. So we bind him, tie him up. We take him with us. We'll take him back to town, see if there's any bounty on him.
Right. So yeah, you bind him up and everything. You patch up one of his bleeding wounds. You're thinking he might not even survive that wound. He does have a bleeding wound. But start making your way towards towards their little camp there. You kind of check that out. And let's see. So you guys start picking through their stuff. And let's see. So you got 3d6. 3. All 3 of them. There was a total of 5. I'm just going to tell. I mean, they did have loot in their camp.
Nice.
So that's 5. 14, 12, 6, 8, 10. And then there, leader. Oh, I need a D4. Okay. 20. 20, that's 40. That's 46. Yeah, 46. Oh, no, 66. But all of the stuff that you want, combination of amber and, silver, silver ore, and you even get the equivalent of about two chunks of gold ore. So in all, if you're looking at like silver piece and gold piece value, you picked up about 80 silver and 2 gold.
Glad you did it that way, because just for simplicity's sake,
Yeah.
I usually I convert everything to silver, and 80 silver, 2 gold. That's an easy conversion with gold to convert.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So they were actually must have been pretty productive outlaws here. All right, so you're kind of like binding up some of your wounds, because one of your guys was wounded. One does have some skill in wound, covering wounds. So he is going to try to treat your leg wound, even though you're not bleeding. So he will make an attempt. Wow. I wish I could check this roll. So he rolled 16.
Oh, well, can you... Oh, yeah, you can't really put it up to the camera.
Yeah.
It's your camera.
Yeah, but my camera's not mine. So he rolled a 16. So he's definitely going to heal you or bind your wound to the point that it will heal. Let's see, the degree of damage, possible consequence, random item damage. This I haven't done.
Healing is on page 27.
On page 27? So,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking through the GM screen stuff, though. It's 27.
It says that 16 through 21 is a +4 in healing, and then it also says about moon phases. All attempts to test healing when the moon is waning receive a +1 mod, because the dying moon helps take away harmful effects. When the moon is waxing, it's a -1 mod.
So what's the result of the... What page is that on? Oh, healing.
Yeah, it's in the skills.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. So he rolled... So
16, you said?
Yeah, so he healed up 4 points of your damage.
What's our moon phase, or is it, or are we between the two? It doesn't matter.
It's a daytime. I don't know. I haven't planned.
Okay, we'll just
I wasn't planning on that. 4 points is enough for right now, and I'll
that
take
takes me back up to 23.
Yes, that's still pretty hardy. All right, so now you fought a hard-fought battle, as did your foes. You stand victorious despite you went a brief distance away, and you look to the sky for the wings of the carrion birds. An hour passed, and naught but flies have begun to flit about the blood-soaked grass and the bodies of the fallen. A second hour passes, and the sun is now dropping below its zenith. The wings of carrion birds can be seen in the distance, but still they do not approach. Could it be that the wind has not carried the scent of death yet? Asked the hunter. As the afternoon turns to dusk, it becomes clear that no birds were coming for the dying party. For the dining the party had laid out for them. Yes, rolls along the ground and hovers about the bodies, and then fades away in wisps into the night. At sunrise, all right, so you guys sleep, you spend the night there in their camp. At sunrise, the bodies remained untouched, but they still held that strange grayish pallor, unlike the death mantle you have accustomed to for men dead men having. So the birds never came in. All you noticed was like this gray mist, over the, in the late evening times, kind of out of the woods, carpet over the area. Initially, you thought it was just like regular fog that you normally see, and same thing in the morning when you rose up in the morning, you notice that, the mist that's normally, normally around, has faded off, and the bodies were left completely untouched, other than that grayish, that grayish decay or grayish, coloring that's on them now. And the birds never came in. Now, again, you can make a religious check again. So a religious lore check.
Religious tradition.
Yes.
Which is -5 charisma, but I have a +1, so I'll take it down to a -4. Okay. 10, 12 minus, so an 8.
Okay. You find that it's still odd that I mean, from just from a world lore check, you know that carrion birds are carrion, and whether or not it's this monarch, raven or not, regular ravens came in to feed on carnage, and yet they did not. That based on your religious, stance, that these men, even though they're outlaws, they fought, a hard-fought fight. But even with the surrender, they still fought, a hard-fought fight, and surely, that might have been, cause to bring one of these, monarch ravens to the battlefield, and to take them, at least one of them away. But there were no wings for the fallen here on this battlefield. All right. And that just strikes you as being counter to your religious beliefs, that you'd never heard of such a thing. And that in itself makes you a little bit uneasy, right, based on your religious beliefs. Like, it's kind of creeping you out, in other words, that, this is too strange.
So, being that ravens are an animal associated with Odin, I'm already, as I mentioned earlier, I was already not really sure how I felt about, mutilating such an animal for a sacrifice. And now seeing this, I'm inclined, you said we saw some birds, but they didn't approach. I'm inclined to actually go out and try to capture one.
Okay.
Because of my religious traditions. And I'm just, at this point, I'm wondering, I'm really suspicious about the druid himself. And I'm even wondering if he himself has something to do with this.
Okay. All right. So do you want to
get some answers?
All right. So you return, with your prisoner, and you return back to the druid. All right. And what are you going to say when you come up to the druid?
We killed 6 outlaws in a hard fight. We've already had a bear afflicted with some unnatural ailment attack a party of men in just a way totally uncharacteristic of that animal. And we do all this with this fight on your orders to capture and take the heart of a sacred animal, which, quite frankly, I find strange in and of itself. But when we fought this fight, none of those birds would even come close to the bodies. And there was some weird gray mist over the bodies. I almost feel like you know something and you're not telling us. I want answers.
He's, he kind of shakes his head and says, I don't understand. He says, this should have worked. He said, I will accompany you back to Grove Cove. He said, I must confer with the High Bashate, of your village, and see. He says, I'm not a religious man, so he says, although I have some understanding of it, he says, but he says it is beyond my knowledge why carrion birds would not come for the fallen on the battlefield. He said there's something beyond my knowledge going on here. And he says, and you're right, it's not a natural thing. So he
Very well.
to the village.
Is this morning?
Yes, this is morning. So it'll take you, you know, if you press hard, you actually arrive back at your village, probably in one day. You know, like during this day.
Good, because as I said, I'm suspicious of this guy, and I'm not even sure I want us going to sleep with him accompanying us.
Yeah. So,
maybe I'm too harsh on him, but
so he does get a cart. Like he has a cart because you do have the one wounded guy with you, and so that will make your travel a little bit easier as well. And you stick to the road now instead of going off track, and you do set that, and it does take you quite a number of hours, non-stop travel, even though kind of exhausted when you get back to the back to the village. And he does bring you in, or he accompanies you to the Great Hall, and the High Holy Man of the village does actually meet with him, and you're directed to speak to the thing in charge of the huntsman, and he basically congratulates you and thanks you for all that you had discovered, and in bringing back the druid to speak to the high Bashar, and that's basically as far as your understanding goes with this. Now they're conferring and trying to figure out what's going on, and your part in this is and your group's part in this has been completed. You're each going to receive an extra 5 silver pieces. Plus, however, you divided up your loot amongst them, so you each get 5 plus what you picked up. Was it 2 gold and 80 silver? So you can
so
divvy
85 silver. What's the ratio? It'd probably be quicker for me to look it up. Let me just get it all. Let me do the math and just get it all down to.
Well, if you're divvying it up evenly, 1, 2, 3, 4. There were 6 of you. 6 of you dividing up 80 silver pieces.
Well, you said that we each got
an additional 5. All right, so that would be I just drew a blank. So that would be a total of 110 silver pieces. All right, and 4 gold pieces divided up amongst amongst the whole group.
I thought you said there were 2 gold pieces.
Total, yes.
Okay, so 120 silver, and it says 2 gold. It says 1 gold is equal to 20 silver, so that's 80 silver. So just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to do the math and convert that. So the total we have is 200 silver.
Divided by 6.
Divided by 6. 200 by 6 equals. Let me do this on my phone because that calculator is malfunctioning. I'm thinking that I would actually.
No, it's not 200. It can't be 200. It's not 200. It's it's 80 plus an additional 30. So it's 110. 110 silver.
100.
Plus the
Okay.
gold pieces, so that would be 130. So 130 divided by 6. Divided by 6. 6 would go into that 20.
Oh, no,
So it's going to end up
one
being...
gold is equal to 2 silver.
Yeah. 1 gold is equal to 20 silver?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that would be
so that'd
120.
Be
oh, that would be 120. Yeah. So 120 divided by 6. So that's even easier. So that's 20 silver each.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll stick with that.
That's 20 silver each. So that's easy enough.
Okay.
And that's actually quite a bit of, quite a bit of loot. So 20 silver each, and all right, experience points. I guess you like that.
Combat rooms in there.
So experience points. You're going to get 250 for the completion of the quest. You're going to get 250 for... Yeah, you essentially did not receive any major injuries. So 250 for killing the bear without any major injuries.
Okay.
100 for your interactions with the druid. That includes role playing and such. 150 for your battle with the bandits.
To the druid.
All right. No, and 150 for your final religious lore checks.
There were some like perception and foraging checks in there. Is that
that was all figured in.
Okay.
So you have
just check.
Yeah. So you got this. You got this.
250, 250, 150, 150, 100.
Yeah, 100, 150. Finding and this here. So 500, 650, 750, 900 experience points.
Okay. Well, that'll take me up to 1.5.
Yeah. Or you could buy some. Yeah, you buy some skills. Maybe you should buy world lore.
Silver added to the silver I already have.
Yeah.
I could probably actually get some change.
Yeah. Like I said, you might want to consider world lore as a skill. Yeah. If you notice, I put a lot of lore into the into my adventures, so it kind of makes sense, especially since you're kind of playing a character that travels a lot. Is a kind of an important skill to have as a trained skill. So just to wrap it up, I mean, the reason for the title of the adventure, if you think about the title of the adventure is No Wings for the Fallen. And that's the tie-in to the lore of, of Odin. And so there's something about what's going on here, that the fallen are not being brought to Valhalla as they're killed on the battlefield. And so that's the real, and especially since your character is of a religious life stance, I mean, that's something that's going to compel you to, try to resolve what's going on here. And that'll be the next adventure follow along with this line. So
Yeah.
so anyway, so I hope you enjoyed it, and
That's been my favorite one so far. That one
yeah.
was just that was for reading. That was a real page turn.
Yeah, so what I'll do
There was
is,
a lot of
like I said, I like to do a lot of lore based, questioning, and a lot of skill checks involved around non-combat. Now, this is one of my earlier adventures, so I didn't quite have that thing like where it's still formulaic in a sense. I kind of crafted it to be one shot, and
yeah.
and actually we pretty much ran it about 3 hours or so, maybe a little bit longer than
Yeah,
3 hours. So I think it's
that was an intense one.
yeah. So I went off on my screen here. So anyway, well, once again, Matt, thanks a lot, and I will post this as once I check. Hopefully, it filmed. It recorded well, and that's what I'll double check, and I'll let you know when we set up our next adventure. I should have my other adventure finished writing by maybe even tomorrow, and we'll see. And to everybody else watching, I hope you enjoyed and learn a little bit about Frog, and it really is a fun system to play. And as you can see, I don't follow the rule. I throw in morale, when I feel that it's necessary, and that's one of the component of the game where even Varg suggests that you don't have to include every number crunch game in order to enjoy it.
It's very customizable, and it has a truly unique setting.
Yes, yeah, I love this, and I love the fact that there's other books that go along with it that you can incorporate. Like if I've been reading the Paganism Explained books that George and his wife Maria Cachette have been putting out, and most recent one, part 3, where it talks about the cult of Mithra. I mean, how that's not in the game, I don't know, because it's such a cool cult that it really should be one of the cults that he included in the game. Hopefully for Frog 3.0, that'll get its way in there.
Yeah,
because,
I'm sure it will.
All right, well, thanks a lot for playing, and I'll log this thing off. You can go online for a few more minutes. I'm just going to stop the recording and talk about our next step.
All right. I actually, I'm.
Oh. And let's see. Oh, let's see. I just have to change my setting. There we go. All right, so I'm on the other screen now, and I'm going to bring this to a stop.